Okay, well, welcome back. We, as Digital for You team, we miss you guys. It has been a long week. We appreciate all your commitment and all your support and effort to bring three of your final projects. So as every webinar and every day, I have with me a presentation to help me just to guide you through all the content that I'm going to show you. With me, there's another couple of friends and really impressive professional digital advisors. We'll give you a little bit of the highlights of their life and how digital has helped them to understand part of their passion too. So I'm going to share my screen in a few, so you can see what we have built for you. So remember that we use the chat to have any questions or any other feedback that you want to give us. That will be as usual. And well, let's begin. So we have with this time a lot of guest speakers, and one of them is one of your favorite teachers, Miss Ann. She's here with us to just open this ceremony and this final day that for us is a huge celebration and is a recognition of all your effort that you have done. So Miss Ann, if you want to give some words to Miss Ann. I think she cannot hear us. Miss Fitzpatrick, can you hear us? Can someone hear me?
I believe, yeah, we can hear you, Elizabeth. Just Miss Fitzpatrick, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I don't know why she cannot hear us.
Ellie, you should be able to unmute people, I think.
Oh, but she was able to speak right now. Miss Ann, can you speak now? Oh my God.
She may have stepped away from her laptop for a moment, Elizabeth, so
yeah.
You can just give her a moment maybe to come back. She may have taken you up on that offer to make a cup of tea.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, okay, these things happen, so don't worry. We're still here. Well, Juan, once your Miss Fitzpatrick is coming back, I want to take advantage of this time and introduce you to the jury that is going to give you feedback of the projects that we review. So just to begin with it, we are going to begin with Larissa. And I'm not going to say anymore because she will introduce herself in her own way. So this is Larry.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Larissa, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be here with you, get to know new people, and get to see your effort on this Digital for Youth program. I want to share before all the things or where I've been or where I want to go, why I'm here today. And I think it's important because it actually started when I was around your age. So in my teens, where everyone was dreaming about being an astronaut or a doctor, like normal things, I wanted to work for Google. And that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do there, but I knew I wanted to work for who I consider to be the best in that field. And while I started to get involved with Google and the things that they did, my dream just started to happen when I met someone who already worked there. So the reason why I'm here today is if I can be of that help that I received back when I had my dream. If I can do that for somebody else, that would make not only my day, but seriously my life. Like, that's what I would like to do. And that's why I have joined this program. Now that you know the reason why I'm here, I would like to tell you a bit of that journey that I went through to see if it can help anybody or resonates with where you're living. So I met this person, a Spanish gentleman who was living in Mexico at the time. I was born in Mexico, and he believed in me. I started actually just learning about digital advertising. So back when the software that Google uses to do ads was very new and nobody knew it. They actually needed people to come into this field. So there was a certification that I needed to pass, and out of a group within that had teachers on it and people who were older than me, only a handful of us had the certification, and this person reached out and he invited me to deliver a training with him on digital advertising. And for me, it was already a big, big deal. And I realized I loved it. And from there were a tiny bit of extra steps in order for him to refer me and to refer me to Google. And that was my next step. I was able to move and work there. I was in Poland. Actually before Poland, I went to France. I did an exchange there. I studied part of my bachelor in a city over there, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, after all that happened, I moved to Poland and I started working at Google. I started as a customer support agent, and you could imagine that the story ends there and happily ever after. She worked at Google, did the dream, but that was not it. Since I was just so excited to be working at Google, I didn't work enough and thinking what I wanted to do there and what I wanted to contribute. So after 3 years in that customer support job, I was working with the biggest advertisers. Like, it was still the dream, yet I got to a point in which I realized I was not happy. Yes, I was at this company, but I was not, in my opinion, bringing value to the world. And that's what I wanted to do. So I decided to assess what I really love. And for me, it's doing training and helping others. So I decided to move to another country. So this is how I came to Ireland. And I took a training job on digital advertising. So what I did there was I was training clients all over the world in many languages to have successful digital strategy. And I did that with the most amazing people you could have ever imagined. And I met. What was very interesting is that I was doing trainings for different people, right? So it was from what we call account managers. So people who would do a very similar job that you were doing in this program, but I also was coaching their managers and the directors of the companies. So I had that whole spectrum and I loved it. So from there, I decided to move on to my next dream, which was working in a product that I really, really loved. And now I work at Google Maps. I'm what they call a program manager. You may hear this word a lot in the new space. And what it really means is I get people to do great things. That's what I do. I organize, I help create, and I make magic happen. And what I do that right now in Google Maps to make sure that you guys have a great experience while you're using the app. So moving forward, do think of me when you're using it. And after I finally hit the dream and I'm doing something impactful in this great company, I realized I want to do something more. So I started something that I have baptized as the Happy Lab. So this is a program in which a group of people work together to create happier lives for themselves. We will tell you more about that a bit later, but that's my new dream. On the other side of things, I like to do yoga a lot. I like doing exercise. I play the drums. So a mix of all these different things that make you, and in this case, make me what I enjoy. And moving forward, through your projects, and if we do get to meet at a later stage, whether you want to decide to go on a coaching session or be part of the Happy Lab, I'd love to know what motivates you. Like, you don't need to be a certain age or be in a certain time in your life to know what really you are about. Like, you already know. That's the secret. It's just a matter of you being brave enough to recognize it at any time that you want. And that's what it's about. that's why I'm here. And I want to thank Elizabeth and also the other judges for giving me the opportunity to contribute.
Thank you, Larissa. Well, guys, if you have some questions for Larissa, type that in the chat. If you have time, we will address that after the session. But now I want to introduce you another wonderful person that is called Philip. Philip is Irish, as you can see. Very Irish. I'm very proud of that. And so please, Philip, here is the chance for you.
Thanks, Ellie. So yeah, I am Philip. I'm head of digital for an advertising agency called Goosebump. What agencies do, for those of you who aren't familiar, is we work with lots of different brands, and they task us to create their ads for TV, for newspapers, for radio, etc. And my job specifically is to work on the strategies behind the digital ads that run on places like Instagram, Google. You might have seen some of our Muju ads on Snapchat. So if you did those kind of things, they would have all been created in-house by us. I'm just going to give you a little background, I suppose, on my career and how I ended up here, and the 3 key lessons that I have learned over the years. When I was your age, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. Digital wasn't really a thing career-wise back then. I think Facebook and all these social networks were only really getting started. So in that sense, you guys have a bit of an advantage because you've grown up with digital first world. It's probably second nature to you guys, what a lot of us had to learn over the years. And so that's a great opportunity if it's something that you're passionate about in your personal life, and it's an opportunity for you to pursue it as a career. You're at a good advantage already in that sense. In terms of my path, I took a bit of a long route through college. Still wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Tried auctioneering for a year, didn't love it. Went to a few marketing classes that same year and really liked it. So I decided to do marketing in college and DIT. And once I finished that, I chose to do a digital postgrad just because, again, it was the up and coming trendy thing to do and career wise from a marketing perspective. It was new, it's different. Wasn't really for a passion out of it that I chose it, but somehow 6 years later I'm head of digital for an advertising agency, so it's worked out. It's an awesome industry. Working in an agency, it allows you to work with so many great brands, and you work with so many different people, so you really have the opportunity to learn new things all the time. So like working with Pringles, you realize the power of such a big global brand. Working with Denny, you realize how much people really love their sausages in Ireland. Working with things like Dalby, Pioneer, Philips, all learning how big companies structure their businesses on a global basis. So all of these things, they're not digital related, but just from the agency side, there are opportunities that I've had that I'm doing my digital work, which I love, and I'm getting to learn all this other stuff at the same time. It's really good. Still not sure if it's what I want to do forever, but it's definitely something that I love doing now, and the skills that you'll learn in it are very useful no matter where your career takes you. So well worth your time if you're thinking about going in this direction. 3 key lessons I've learned over the years, which will help you in your digital pursuits. There is a free tool for almost everything. Anything from image design to social media mock-ups, video creation, CV building, app building. You don't need to know the technical side of all these things. There is a tool that will do it for you. And I think that is really important to realize. It's something I'm only realizing now. Anytime I have a problem, maybe this is first nature to you, but it's something I've had to train myself. Just Google it, because someone will have had that problem before and they'll have built a tool to help people like you solve the problem. And that'll be especially helpful for projects like this. I know you guys put in some good effort creating social content. There's lots of tools out there that could have helped you even more, and I'd be happy to share those with you for future use. You can just send me a question on chat or an email afterwards. Second thing I've learned, it's not digital related, but it is still really important. Fake it till you make it. Never be afraid to go for something because you think you're not quite qualified. You definitely need a base layer of knowledge to get your foot in the door anywhere. But if you have that and you can speak with confidence, you can figure out the rest later. As head of digital, my colleagues assume I know everything there is to know about digital, and it's just not possible because there's so much and it's so new. So they come to me with all sorts of problems, and I would say at least 30% of the time I haven't a clue what they're talking about. But I just say, yeah, no problem, I'll get back to you. And you Google it again, you'll find the answer, and then you'll learn how to do it. You'll have that skill forever, and you can deliver the solution. So be confident in yourself, and you'll be fine. And the final thing, again, I suppose now that I'm going through this, this is not really digital focused as such, but people are really nice and they will help you if you ask them. If you are looking for an internship, if you're looking for a job, if you need some help with something, send an email, send a LinkedIn mail. You might not be on LinkedIn yet, but you will be in a couple of years. Not everybody is always going to respond to you, but a surprisingly large amount of people will be receptive and will want to help you. I found that I moved to Dubai with one contact and 3 days accommodation booked. I had no job, no nothing, and literally just reached out to people and they helped me get my jobs just because I was Irish, didn't even know me. So never be afraid to reach out. I think any of us here as judges, a couple of years time, you might be looking to get into proper digital careers. Look us up on LinkedIn. We'll have no problem helping you. And yeah, that is it from me. And I think Ali's still on mute.
You're on mute.
Yeah. Thank you, Philip. Well, guys, you heard, if you need a job or an internship, just email Philip and he will help you. Just kidding. No, but Philip is right. I think it's just the attitude and confidence and hard work that gets to whatever you want, any job you want, and anything you want to do in your life. So now we're going to move with Nicai. Nicai, she is from the Philippines, and she will tell you more about her in a few. Oh, maybe.
Can you hear me now? Okay, yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm Ellie's friend, also from Smurfit, and right now I work for Wolfgang Digital. I'm also an advertising agency focusing on digital, like Philip. We're one of the most awarded digital marketing agencies here in Europe and also in Ireland. But I actually started out as a reporter for TV back in Manila. So I was 9 actually. I was working, there was this program by UNICEF. And so TV and media really is my background before I shifted into digital, which is, for me back then, was a really exciting space because, you know, anyone can have like a cell phone or a laptop and do their own content and produce it and upload it online. So it's really different from when I was in TV, where you need like a full like TV crew to actually produce like one show. So I think you guys really live in very interesting times, and I see a lot of content, for example, in Instagram or in TikTok, produced by kids your age, for, well, teenagers your age, and they're amazing. Like I think like the editing skills of like the kids right now are like up to par even with some of the people I know who have been working in the industry for like a long time. So yeah, I'll keep this short. I think so. A lot of people already talked about like how important digital is. So I think what I want to focus on is how important your participation is. So in UNICEF, we have this thing called like young people and children's participation. So being very aware in social causes right now, like you did a project with SVP, and I think that's really important to be aware of things happening around you. And of course, for your participation, and especially for the campaign that you did, a lot of you really focused on young people and people who are your age. And I think the best way to reach out to them is actually to consult, and for young people also to actually do that campaign. Because like if adults are doing that and we're talking to like kids your age, there may be like a lot of things that we don't know, and we may not be able to speak the same language. So again, your participation is very important. So it's very important to let your voice be heard. And by actually participating in this project, That's like one way to do that. So fair play to everyone. Everyone did a good job, and yeah, best of luck. So that's it.
Thank you so much, Nicai. And finally, we have also another person in the room, which name is Shane. So Shane, this is your time.
So hi everybody. So my name is Shane. I'm a customer success manager at LinkedIn. So actually just recently joined LinkedIn at the start of this year. So interestingly, digital has played a big part in my role while in a company that is effectively, I suppose, a social media platform for professionals. But I haven't actually met the majority of my co-workers. So I only see them probably as you see me today on video conferencing. But I suppose I took this as a bit more of a personal kind of way. I said, like, I'm 28, and I actually, when I started this program, working with Ellie and the guys, I actually took a step back. 11 years ago, I was finishing secondary school, which actually scared the lights out of me when I actually thought about it. But 13 years ago, I was in the same year you were in. So, you know, a lot has happened since then, but it's actually made me reflect. So yeah, I'm a proud North Sider. You know, it's definitely something I wear as a badge of honor. I have a degree in design, so product design innovation. So I have a very different probably path to digital in my career. I didn't know what I wanted to do in school. What I did realize is I actually had a real big passion for art at the time. So I really doubled down on my kind of skills and said, I'm going to find something in college to do with art. Now, I didn't want to do art in college, so I found design, surprisingly enough. And I went to Carlow for 4 years. And I have a degree, so I'm product design innovation, which effectively, if you look at anything you're holding in your hand, your mobile phone, you know, a door handle, a car, for instance, somebody has sat down and actually designed that from start to finish, from concept all the way to finished product. And I effectively studied that, which was an extremely kind of eye-opening decision in my life. What that gave me then was a really big curiosity for how things happen. And I've never really lost that. So if I don't know how to do something, I very much jump in. And I think from the research you guys have done over the last number of weeks, it's very evident you have actually applied kind of a similar kind of passion for building a new solution, taking digital or more kind of modern kind of techniques. I've actually just recently finished a master's degree in innovation, actually in UCD Smurfit Business School. So now I'm kind of trying to marry both of those together. So in LinkedIn, for instance, I now am starting up an incubation center where we take in ideas from the organization and look at how we can apply it worldwide. So 16,500 employees in LinkedIn. We're now building effectively a program of work that will look at all the ideas, how we can kind of 10x them. And what that means is it's kind of a term we robbed from Google. So Larissa, thank you. But they look at the scale. So how they can take an idea and scale it, make it more impactful. And we're now doing that at LinkedIn to see how we can do that with our customers, but also with how we do our work internally. There's a lot of inefficiencies sometimes in very large startups because everyone's, you know, all hands on deck trying to get to the end point. So it's really interesting. My background as well. So I've been a consultant before, prior to this, in large digital transformation. So large digital strategies. And I've also been involved in Ireland's largest utility transformation, which is, it's enormous. It's about probably €100 billion transformation when you look at all things involved. So we played a very instrumental part of that in redefining that utility. And lastly, I'll really leave it at this. I'm a really big IT and digital enthusiast. There's a lot of change happening in this space. It really does encapsulate a lot. Like if you think about the mobile phone you probably are watching this on, or the iPad, didn't exist, you know, when I was actually, you know, in school. You may need to Google this, like, you know, Google a Nokia 3310 and you'll see the kind of devices we were rocking in school. It had a green screen, black text, and everything that was all the rage at the time was something called Snake, you know, and we used to compare our best scores on Snake. But in saying that, if you are so inclined and do have a bit of an interest in it, look at how companies like Google have grown since then, where they were just a search engine and now effectively they manage the majority of our life. So there's definitely, you know, a lot of white space ahead of us. And if you do have an interest in it, I would be happy to have a conversation with you. when we potentially get out of COVID-19 and we're allowed to have a bit of a social interaction, if you would like to come and see LinkedIn's office, we've just built a new office alongside Microsoft, and we've just acquired or put our plans down for another 5 offices on our street. So again, we've just bought a whole street, which is just crazy when we think of the scale of it. I'd be more than happy to bring you in, have lunch, bring you up to the coffee dock, which overlooks Dublin City. So if that's something you're interested in, please feel free to reach out, and I'll definitely be looking to make that happen.
That's fantastic.
I might take
Thank you.
Even if no one else does.
Sure, Philip, no problem.
Exactly. Can we go?
Please.
Everyone can go.
Thank you, Shane, for the invitation. Now I think Miss Ann Fitzpatrick is here with us now again. So Miss Ann, can you?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I lost you there for a while, guys. I just wanted to say thank you to all your team today, Elizabeth, for giving up your time to judge the competition, and I think it's really inspirational for the boys that you're sharing your stories with them. And I can just see the list of the boys here who've signed in, and I know that a lot of them are very interested in IT and in digital skills. So really, really appreciate your time. And also to the boys that have signed in and that have put the work in. Well done, boys. I know you're finished school now, so you're going the extra mile, and it just shows how passionate you are about this. And also, I think it was a great concept that you work together in teams. So I'm sure that was difficult at the moment with everything. You couldn't meet up, and everything had to be done online. So it's just kind of an indication of how things will happen for you in the future too. So just thank you to you all, and I'm really excited about seeing these projects.
Thank you, Miss Ann and Fitzpatrick. We would love just to, as Shane said, once everything is set back, we can see the guys and welcome them to LinkedIn offices, and why not have another
fantastic
session also with you, so you can join us and follow
fantastic.
up. It's just a matter of time.
Thank you as well, Elizabeth, for all the hard work you've put in, and it was difficult to get it off the ground because we weren't in school, and you persisted with it. So thank you very much.
Oh no, thank you for my team also that it's connected here, that you will see. It's a hard work, but it's also a teamwork. But thank you for the opportunity, and thank you guys. I know you are there and you are not in video, but thank you also for believing us and taking your time to learn a little bit of this. So now the feedback session begins. I will explain you how the feedback session will be. So the four persons that are your jury right now, they will give you one thing that you did really well, and one thing that can be improved in your project. So take this as something that can help you to grow in your career, and something also that can apply in another project in the future. If you have any other questions about the feedback that the persons are going to give you, put that in the chat. However, if you don't feel confident enough, we can follow up later. So don't worry, just listen to whatever the jury is going to give you. And for us, you are already a champion. So just keep in mind that. This is just a feedback session. So first, we are going to begin with team number 1, Team Guac of Moly, which is Jake, Max, Matthew, Paul, and Dara. So first, we're going to begin with Larry.
Thank you. First things first, since I'm Mexican, I love the name, so thank you. Jokes aside, I was really impressed with the quality of this project. I will stick to only one thing that I think was amazing, but there were several, okay? The thing that I appreciated the most about this project was the evident teamwork. you created a video in which I got to listen to all your voices, and I got that sense of collaboration. And that's the most remarkable thing of the entire strategy for me. Great things are achieved in groups. Like if you go alone, you will just achieve so much. And here I saw a group of incredible people, regardless of your age, that got together and did something amazing. So congratulations. The one piece that could be improved, because there is generally always room for doing something extra, something additional, is I would encourage you to think about which kind of material would get you excited. Like if you saw this video that you create, would you get out of your pocket the €5 or €10 that you have? And would you figure out a way to send it over to this charity? If the answer is yes, great. If you hesitated, then which kind of message would you be excited to see and that would make you take action?
Okay, thank you, Larry. Now we're going with Nicai now.
Hi, so again, really great job. I love that it's very well researched and you explore different platforms, and really plus points for the audit that you did. So even in our pitches for the different brands, we have to show that we really know the brand, and I think you show that in your presentation. And an additional kind of like suggestion comment that I have is that, so I know you gave some kind of samples that really focused on like homelessness and depression, and which is really what the society is all about. But I kind of wanted to see like positive messages as well in the sample content that you gave. For example, maybe we can also have additional content on like about the survivors, and you know, like there's hope after all of this. So yeah, just an additional comment, but overall really great work.
Thank you. Now please, Philip.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. I think maybe the names are a little bit mixed up. So
yeah,
I don't know if this is to Guac of Moly, but to whoever did this project, really good job. Like the guys said, I'd echo what Nicai said about the research and the audit that you did at the start. I think if you go into a career in digital, you'll see that data, looking at data and doing an audit is often it should always be the very first step that you take. Because I think when you do your research and you understand the challenge that you're facing, then it's much easier to come up with a solution. You'd be surprised how many people just try and jump straight into a solution, even our own colleagues who are experienced professionals. So really likes that research part. I like the suggestion of using channels that are popular with younger audiences. They're not necessarily going to be current donors to the charity, but you did recognize that they are potential future donors to the charity and potential future employees as well. So that was really good. One thing that could have made it a little bit more impactful, you suggested using TikTok as a channel. I would love to have seen maybe some sample TikTok content rather than YouTube content. Obviously tough in these conditions to create content of any kind, but definitely you made a good strategic suggestion, and I think content that reflected that would have really added a bit more impact.
Super. Yeah, sorry, I have a typo there. Well, a huge typo actually. Yeah, I said the names of the students that were not part of this team. So Team Guac of Moly officially is Daniel, Guy, Luke, Liam, and Stephen, which I know all of us agree that it was Guac of Moly team. But yeah, sorry for that and the interruption. And finally now, please, Shane, lastly.
Mm-hmm. So I think firstly, big kudos for actually building a video. As you say, like it's one thing trying to do it when you're all together, but doing it remotely, you know, does add a layer of complexity to trying to get everyone to speak with kind of, you know, over a video and not over content. But ultimately what I was actually really impressed with from your team was the overview of the digital landscape. You know, I think it brought an aspect of thinking outside the box, like so how many mobile phones are out there. And I think what Philip said is it brings an element of kind of strength to your presentation when you can back up, why you're going a certain route. So, it just brings that real strength to kind of the element of research and ultimately the direction of your strategy. So that kind of really did lead in really well. There's just one point that I would like to say, or a point of improvement, and it's very, very small, and it's maybe something you can take forward. When you're presenting big blocks of text can be very, when you're speaking, I ended up reading your text. So what you could do is actually invert that. So take the message out of the text and put an image up and a really small caption. So that means you don't give the reader too much information, and they have to focus on what you're saying. So you become the focal point of the presentation. But other than that, I thought it was a really good, strong kind of representation of your work. So thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move forward, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. I just want to give a big kudos to Stephen, because it's not easy to interrupt these people who are just talking about the products. And like, this is exactly what it's about. Like, you having the guts to speak up and say something and correct it. So congratulations, Stephen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Like, I didn't see that. And thank you, Larry, for that feedback too, which is also very valuable. Now, team number two, to call to hold, and hopefully I didn't miss this. Now is Jake, Max, Matthew, Paul, and Dara. So yeah, so we will begin the same. Larry, then Nicai, then Philip, and then Shane.
Sure. Again, good job as well. The piece that I love the most about team number two, to hold was the next steps section. It felt like something I would see in some of my colleagues' projects. Okay, like, this is a client and these are the things, the steps that you need to follow. I thought it was very professional to include that piece. In terms of extra things that you could also do, I echo the past comment from Philip on the examples. So people buy evidence. Like, when I go and I want to sell you a delicious ice cream, like, I can tell you about the ice cream, describe it, and maybe you'll crave it, but it's much more powerful if I show you the ice cream, if I let you smell it. Therefore, it would be fantastic to have an example of those. I believe you focused on TikTok, if I remember correctly, like just having that evidence or a little bit of a taste of what you could do for the client.
Okay, thank you. Now, Nicai.
Thanks, Larry. So, wow, what I really liked about this group is, I think it was already mentioned, that there's a very logical flow of the presentation from start to finish. I could see that you're telling a story with your slides, and I think you clearly know the behavior of your target market, so you really focused on TikTok. And by the way, it's not just for kids. I find myself in the For You page until 2 a.m. in the morning, so grown-ups use it too. Yeah, but I think you really know the behavior of like young people like yourselves, obviously. So, and you really focus on that, which I also like. An additional suggestion would be, if there are other platforms, or maybe this is a question you can throw to your group, if there are other platforms you can explore from TikTok, what would it be? Because it may be limiting. So if you want to take it like a step further, is there like another channel that you kind of also want to focus on? So yeah, that's about it. But really, again, good job to all the group, and see you in TikTok.
Thank you. Please, Philip.
Yeah, good job again to the whole group who worked on this. The one thing that really stood out for me, or sorry, not the one thing, but one of the things that stood out for me was a nice little bit of technical guidance on how to maximize the presence on the channel. And that was the suggestion of the donate link in the bio. This seems like a small thing, but it's often these little technical pieces that maybe if you were working with a client and they're not familiar with TikTok, they wouldn't think of something like that. And that is the kind of thing that will drive donations for them. It's similar for myself, how we use the link for the Instagram bio for a lot of my clients, like a lot of really big, like national and international companies, and they're not using their Instagram bio correctly. It's not got the right link to the right page on their website. So it's an easy thing to overlook, and it can make a big difference. So I like that. One thing that I think could have helped improve the presentation, you gave instructions on how to set up on TikTok. That was really good. But I think maybe a little bit more guidance on what makes a good TikTok video. So we know like music is really important on TikTok. The shorter videos often are what do a lot better. Things like trends that can happen that a brand could potentially get involved with if the trend is relevant to them. So a little bit more guidance on the kind of the content of what you think makes a great TikTok video would be a really good help.
Thank you. And lastly, Shane, please.
Yeah, so first thing I wanted to say was, I think the slide deck looks really slick. It's kind of minimal, like, you know, and I think that kind of black and white contrast, kind of inverting it was really nice. So that was the first thing as a designer I picked up on straight away. I was like, this is very appealing. But I think you articulated or painted a picture of the actual problem, the solution, why you chose that solution really well. Like, you know, you kind of stepped me as a potential, what would you say, customer or client through exactly what you had found. So I really enjoyed that. And I did like the simplicity of it as well. It was just very to the point as well. And those steps about what I need to do next are always great, because customers or clients are always left wanting more. So yeah, you kind of, you know, you feed them a little bit and they kind of, you know, they build up an appetite, and then you're saying, well, if you want the rest of the meal, this is what you need to do. So I think you've done that really well. The only piece that I was left wanting is probably what, you know, Philip and the guys have mentioned there, has been, what about the other platforms? I understand TikTok is the most relevant platform now, and you know there's a lot of kind of traction there, but there's also an awful lot of traction still on the likes of Facebook, still on the likes of Instagram. And I would be interested to know maybe what other platforms that you're potentially on that we're not thinking of, because there's probably certainly, you know, interactions you're having out there in the digital world that really we haven't caught on to yet. So I would say I would like to see you push the boundary a little bit more, because I think what you've done was great, and I think there was an awful lot more opportunity there for you to show that.
Thank you. Lastly, the team number 3, Willinators, which is James, Evan, Daniel, and Max. Larry?
Thank you. What the big thing that I'd like to mention about Team 3 is you went above and beyond, and that pays off. I noticed that in the requirements that you had for the project, you didn't have to create the accounts themselves, right? But you did it. And I love that. Like, nobody asked you to, and yet you went, like, you took that step that actually the advisors need to make. I was very impressed, and I want to tell you why, with a piece of Google culture. So something that we do internally at Google is we have a concept of peer bonus. What does this mean? Like, if I'm working with you and you do an amazing job, you go above and beyond, the extra mile, whatever you want to call it, I have the right to send you a peer bonus, and it's money. It's actual money in your pocket. And this is because you just did something amazing that nobody asked you to do. So seeing already that you're taking extra steps beyond what people ask you to do is going to pay back, and I wanted to recognize that. On the extra things that could be done, a bit more information on the strategy, the why. I'm a big advocate on explaining why you do things, where you're coming from, and this could have given an extra push for that strategy that you're selling. Thank you.
Thanks.
Also Nicai, I think.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. So again, yeah, fair play to you on actually creating the account for the campaign. So again, that's going above and beyond what is expected of you. That's really great. And I actually did search for it on Twitter. So I was looking for your account that you created, which brings me to my point that it was kind of buried in there. So there were a lot of kind of like similar pages that came up when I was searching for it. So my question would be like, what do you do to stand out from those pages? I know it's a fairly new page, but eventually you need to kind of really make a name for yourself even. And to do that, I was thinking, is there, for example, a specific campaign that you want to do, like a specific hashtag you want to use? Like, in to promote like your donation link. And yeah, so maybe that's like another question, like if you want to take this a step further, is there like, what's your hashtag or what campaign can you build from what you already built, which is awesome. So yeah, but again, good job for doing that again. And hopefully you can maintain it actually, and submit it to the society. Maybe Ellie and the rest of the team can bring that forward. So yeah.
Thank you. Philip?
Yeah, I'll echo the guys. Good job setting up the social media accounts. I mean, I think you are the only group who took that extra step. So you kind of big kudos there. It helps you stand out from the crowd. Maybe just be careful of the spelling. I think there might have been a slight typo in the Instagram one, and that would make a big difference if people are searching SVP and the account is SPV, I think. Small thing, but yeah, just be careful there. I really liked the final slide reminding us why digital is so important. That's like a final, if you're presenting to a client and you've taken them through a big deck, it's really good to have that kind of roundup slide of why it's important, what you were talking about. So it's really good. One area where that could have been improved just slightly, if you had some, say, usage statistics about digital. So if you Google, how many people are online in Ireland or Irish internet trends, anything like that, you'll find reports everywhere. We discussed earlier how important data can be to really back up whatever points you're trying to make. So great job reminding them why digital is so important, but you could also show them with a couple of stats that you could find online. So just a small thing there that could help it.
Thank you. And finally, please, Shane.
Yeah, I think for me, like the main point here is they really own the execution. I think everyone has actually honed in on that completely. Like having done similar, like I've set up my own Instagram pages and kind of like it isn't straightforward sometimes to do it. You do have to have a little bit of onus and put yourself out there. So I do appreciate that, and I think it was nice to see that you'd done it, but you also done it across multiple channels. So some of the feedback to the other teams was they should have went broader on their channels. You went broader on your channels, which is fantastic. The only piece then I would pick up or say that you maybe could have done better for us is a client loves hearing about themselves, warts and all. So I would have liked to see a bit of background on St. Vincent de Paul. So, customers love their own complex, and I think that's kind of you need to give them something about themselves and potentially find out something they didn't know. So potentially there was an opportunity there for you to look into, but other than that, good job.
Thank you. Well, now after the feedback session, I hope that all the feedback that these people give you has very valuable. And now naming the winner, some drum roll. There. Guac of Moly. Congratulations to Guac of Moly. We believe that basically this team deliver this extra mile, the storytelling, the structure, the data that they use, and implementation of the strategy was very, very effective. So, but hold on, there's a lot of prizes for everyone. So I will tell you what's going on here. There are prizes, of course. So I will tell you exactly how it's going to be. Your jury volunteer with their time. So they will give you actually, not me, mentorship and support in your path career. That's basically the prize that we have for you. And this is how you are going to use it in the next weeks. So in the next weeks, I will be in touch with you and with Ms. Fitzpatrick, where you can have up to 4 mentorship access and the Happy Lab that Larry just mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. So how it's going to be? If I am if I am part of Guac of Moly team, then I will wait for basically Digital for Youth email, where it's gonna say what is the time availability that you have and who are the mentors that you want to talk to. You can talk only to one mentor 1 hour, or you have the option to have one conversation of 1 hour with every mentor. That's what we have for you. Plus, you have access to a part of the Happy Lab that Larry will give you a little bit of insight what is it, which is a little bit of public speaking skills. So do you want to tell Larry what is the Happy Lab Access?
Yes, thank you. Real quick. So it's a program to help you build the career that you want. If you want to be a digital advertiser, if you want to be an astronaut, this is for you. I remember, just as I think most of the jury said, I also didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And all this time I've been wanting that somebody help me figure it out timely. I figured it out too late. So this is a program that includes a session first to figure out what you would like to study. Second, how to do a CV, and then how to nail that first interview, how to do amazing public speaking. Because Philip mentioned that you need the skills, and also I think it was Shane, was it Philip, was it Shane? Maybe both, mentioning that if you have an idea, you just need to communicate it in a very nice way, and then you'll get it across. So that'll be in the session. And lastly, I added a bonus on how to increase your chances of getting into Google, which is a question I get a lot. That's
great. Well, so this is the prize that we have for you, and I will be in charge of the follow-up. So don't worry, if you want to start with this right next week or in summer, let us know. But this is part of the next steps. So congratulations to all of you. However, we have also more things for Team 2 and Team 3 and the rest of Digital for Youth people that is right now. The Team Digital for Youth and myself decided to give you 1 hour of mentorship too in your career or anything that we can help you. Basically, we want to give part of our time, part of our life experience, our career experience on help you to realize what do you want to do maybe next year or maybe in your future. And this is a question that you will be asked constantly. Even right now, I'm finishing my master. I'm asking myself what I want to do, what is my next step. So it's okay not to know. However, it's not okay not to do something about it. So do something about it and just take action. So what's next? In the short term, I will send an email to all of you, also to Ms. Fitzpatrick, so all of you can give us feedback. Also, the jury is part of these people that we're going to approach and understand how we can improve our program. Second thing, in the month of June, we're going to deliver you a diploma that you just accomplished Digital for Youth program, at least this version. And we want to recognize it on this diploma online in an online mode. It will be by email to you. And finally, I will follow up all the prizes, this mentorship program, the access to the Happy Lab that Larry told, and also the opportunity to go to the LinkedIn offices once we can go out and connect face-to-face each other. So this does not finish here. There's a great quote that I like from Spider-Man that says, "With great power comes great responsibility." And I think we just want to tell you that be aware that everything that you text in WhatsApp, in Snapchat, in email, everything that you do on the digital world is part of your digital footprint, which means that is your own responsibility what you put outside of there. So just question yourself every time that you do something in this digital world, would you like to be remembered by that? It's, I think, something that we just need, is a part of being ethical and be a responsible digital citizen. Just be responsible of this access to the information that we have and use it for good. Be curious constantly. We believe, and I think it's something that all the jury, my team, Digital for You, and I agree, curiosity has given us a lot of opportunities in our lives since high school, college, to right now. And be loyal also to your values. Something really important for us is being guided by our own values as citizens and your values that your family can also bring you or have built with. And congratulations all, now you are part of the Digital for Youth community. Even though you have a mentor session, we are now your friends, possibly your next mentors for your whole life. So it will be nice to know more about you and what is your passion, and what do you want to do with your life. So just want to say thank everyone for being here. And thank you guys. Thank you, Yuri. Thank you, Dietel, for your team, which is here too. And finally, we can say we did it. We did it. We make this happen. So thank you, everyone, for all. Guys that are here, St. Benildus College, if you want to put your microphone on and say something, or put in the chat, it's available to everyone and everyone can see it. So this is a time for you also to share something. But thank you.
As
Okay.
everybody, or some people, or maybe nobody, gathers the courage, because it does take courage to put that camera on or say something like Stephen did earlier. I generally think that everybody in this call, including Miss Fitzpatrick, is amazing. Like, here you are on a Friday evening, giving your time for you. And I just want to recognize that these are the people that I hire, because I also do interviews where I work. So I just wanted to recognize that you are genuinely amazing.
Well, there's in the chat says, Daniel, thank you so much, everybody. Leanne, thank you, guys. Luke says thank you. Sean O'Connor also says thank you. Stephen too, thank you all for your time. We feel the same. Thank you also for your time being here. And so we'll stay we'll be still in touch, and you will know more about us, more about me for sure. And like, enjoy your summer and enjoy this lovely weekend, long weekend that most of us have. So yeah, so thank you Larry, thank you Nicai, thank you Shane, thank you Philip for your time, and for all your ideas that you give to the guys. I think it was very valuable for them, for me too. Like, I also have a lot of your feedback for me. I save it for a couple of maybe hours just to have it there and analyze something. Thanks very much to you too, and Miss Fitzpatrick, thank you also. So here with me is also Francine. It's part of Digital for You team. It's Francine, Stella, and Guzman. Yeah. So yeah, guys, if you want to say something also, this is the time. But maybe you saw also Stella was in a video some minutes ago. But yeah, thank you guys. We did it. 1 hour. Finally.
Yeah, hi guys. Thank you so much for the judges for attending this event today, and thank you so much, lads, for coming to the ceremony. I think that everybody did a very good job, and congratulations for Guac of Moly for winning sessions. I hope the membership will help you, and thank you so much for participating in all our classes so far.
Yeah. Thank you. I just will stay here as well. Someone is talking.
I think Anne is trying to talk there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just thanks a million, guys. And thanks to that offer to the lads of the help. I'm sure they'll avail of it and take you up on your expertise.
Cool, no worries. Well done, lads. All the people who took part, and thank you, Ellie and Francine, Stella, Guzman, for organising it all. It's obviously a lot of work that goes in from all sides. Like the judges, we just kind of joined for the last sections of it. But yeah, good job all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign off now. Have a great weekend. And like I said, if anyone ever wants to reach out, well, I'm sure Ellie will coordinate.
Yeah.
In touch if you need any help. More than happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a nice weekend, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Adios. Bye-bye. See you soon. I will miss you. Bye.